So we were lucky enough to be able to choose our campsite, which we did, because we got here at the time when there were few people here. We're not far from the homestead, which is over there, which we're not supposed to go to. And we're down by the creek, to the closest point where you're allowed to take your cars before you have to walk up the hot springs. And the big weather front is moving in. We brought wood with us from the place where we were allowed to collect it, because we didn't want to chop any firewood or trees down here. And we have a rather elegant dining table.
So driving out an hour or two was not happening right on cue.
So, Muloorina, very unusual water on the ground.
So we stayed a night and then another as we had lots of pork. We lost our count of how many times
Only has
we
just
bathed in the
stopped.
hot
It's
water.
only been very light, enough to wet the top. You know, when you dig into the ground for obvious morning pollution, you know, it's gone about 2 inches into the dirt, and that's about it. Go for a morning walk.
But it did not cook that well. It was still nice and tasty though, even though I sucked from the shell. Oh, then the careful choice was made, and if you judge it like a champ, you can get your body really hot and walk right back to camp. Muloorina has hot and cold water right on tap, but you have to drive for 7 hours and stop halfway to nap. Muloorina has hot and cold water right on tap, but you have to drive for 7 hours and stop halfway to nap. Muloorina has hot and cold water right on top, but you have to drive for 7 hours and stop halfway to nap. When you get here, the camping's good, with a lot of choice by the creek. You can choose a closer neighborhood or isolation you can see.
Spectacular.
Winter time, no one else did swim in the cool waters up from creek. But on our first day, there were 4 others in the hot spring seeking heat. The storm front rain was coming in, and we were given warning. Leave right now or get rained in, because overnight it's storming.
Water vapour coming on. Man, I got my breakfast cooking while I go and have a spa down
It was already past beer o'clock, and we had had a few. So driving out an hour or
there. I don't know if anybody's done this before here. Obviously it happens in New Zealand. Find a way to anchor it off and drop the egg into the boiling water. Well, not quite boiling, but still.
Artesian springs are very hot, too hot for human skin. So we had to wander down a bit where it was cool enough to get in. I boiled an egg in the fresh hot spring, but it did not cook that well. It was still nice and tasty though, even though I sucked from the shell. Then the careful choice was made, and if you judge it like a champ, you can get your body real